If you wake up already exhausted, if the things that used to bring you joy now feel empty, if even simple tasks cost you an absurd amount of energy, this is not a character flaw. This is biology. Depression is one of the most common illnesses of 21st century. Over 350 million people currently worldwide are living with it. And yet it is still reduced to just push through it problem. But is it actually true? Is depression only a psychological problem? If so, then can we just motivate ourselves and think our way out of it? The truth is, depression is not only a psychological problem. It is a combination of psychological and neurobiological abnormalities. And I am not saying this as a therapist or a specialist. I am just saying this based on what research in neuroscience constantly tells us. In plain English, your brain is not working optimally, and that altered biology of your brain is constantly shaping your thoughts, your motivation, and your emotional state. Depression is not a lack of willpower. It's a lack of properly regulated biology. And if biology is the part of the problem, then it also has to be a part of the solution. Before going further, it's important to separate two things. Having depression is not the same as feeling depressed for a few days. Clinical depression is a medical condition characterized by persistent low mood, loss of interest or pleasure, sleep disturbances, psychomotor slowing or restlessness, and sometimes suicidal thoughts. This is not just emotion, it correlates with measurable changes in brain function, something we can observe in research settings. In this video specifically, I will talk about the feeling of being depressed, not the clinical deep depression. When we look at the brain on a microscopic level, researchers observe altered neurotransmitter signaling, disrupted circadian rhythms, and changes in REM and slow-wave sleep. Scientists still don't know a single reason and cause of depression. What we see instead is a complex interaction between genetics and environment, chronic stress, loneliness, pressure, and social anxiety. The result? Reduced neuroplasticity, reduced energy availability, and reduced reward sensitivity. In simple terms, your brain turns into energy conservative mode, and when that happens, everything feels heavier. Modern medicine approaches depression primarily through pharmacotherapy, psychotherapy, light therapy, and in some severe cases, electroconvulsive therapy. And these interventions are incredibly important. They can save lives, and they are absolutely necessary to work with them. And I am not a person who is against medical treatment or therapy, but lifestyle choices, sleep, movement, and nutrition are often treated as a secondary, despite directly influencing brain psychology. For many people, lifestyle is not a replacement for treatment or therapy, but it is a biological foundation that supports recovery. So it has enormous value to build that biological foundation and then seek therapy and treatment. So if depression involves dysregulated biology, how do we start regulating it again? I'm going to break this down into three foundational pillars that consistently show up in the research and that we can actually influence. Sleep is not just resting. It's when your brain does its maintenance work. During sleep, your emotions become more stable, your brain organizes memories, and stress hormones are brought back down. But when you consistently sleep too little, let's say less than 8 hours, your cortisol stays elevated, your reward system becomes more responsive, and your mood becomes less stable. Sleep isn't just a luxury, it is a daily maintenance for your nervous system. And that's why it has one of the biggest impacts on your mental health and your depression. Regular movement sends a very specific signal to your brain. We're alive, we're active. It supports chemicals related to motivation, increases brain plasticity, and lowers chronic stress. You don't need intense workout, you need repetition. Even 10 to 20 minutes a day of fast walking can begin to shift how your brain handles depression and how actually your mood is at the moment. Your brain uses more energy than any other organ in your body. If your blood sugar consistently spikes and crashes, then probably also your energy levels also spike and crashes. So nutrients and vitamins like omega-3s, B vitamins, magnesium can play an important role in the way that neurotransmitters are created and then being handled. Highly processed food is linked to a higher inflammation and actually spiking more sugar spikes and worse your mental health. So food isn't just a fuel, it's a information for your body and for your brain. Depression exists on a spectrum. The deeper and more severe it is, then the more comprehensive the treatment becomes. In severe clinical cases, professional care is essential, no doubt. Lifestyle then alone isn't enough. But for many mild to temperate cases, improving biological regulation can significantly improve the symptoms of depression. And often, once the foundation is addressed, then recovery takes less than we usually expect. I am not presenting this as some kind of miracle fix. I am presenting this as a framework grounded in biology, in our chemistry. So please remember, depression is not lack of willpower. It is the dysregulated biology, which can always be improved step by step.